You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
Minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Sir Lana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Sir Lana, and this is what we like to call Spaceboy Universe. It is August the 4th, 2018, and tonight's show is number 2.39. Our guest tonight is Doraliz Ramos, co-founder of ExitusVR. And man, we're going to have a great conversation with her. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow Sir Lana at Sir Lana. Follow me. That's Spaceboy at Spaceboy Music. And of course, tonight, make sure to hashtag your tweets with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. In addition to Twitter, you can find us all on social media. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets, you will want to check out our YouTube channel. We do more than archive our shows there. There is video content from SB Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, so much more. Hit that subscribe button and click that bell to get notified when new content is available. Hey, can't catch a show live? No problemo. Take the SBU on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, and Spotify. Yes, because we like to broadcast. And on that magical note, let me bring in the lovely Sir Lana. And how are you, Sir Lana?
I can confirm we're on Spotify. I checked it out this week. I didn't listen to anything, but I just looked us up and started following us on Spotify. So.
I mean, that's great. I mean, it's fantastic to see that on the Spotify thing.
Because out of all the things you just rattled off, the one thing I go to every single day is Spotify. I use every day.
Oh, yeah.
Other than YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's not they're paid. We're not getting paid by them.
No.
But we do enjoy using.
I pay for them.
Yeah. But we do enjoy using them and for music and when they started doing the podcast thing on Spotify, I thought that was kind of cool, and I was like,
It just automatically goes over there, right?
Yeah.
After we're done.
After we're done, I clicked a setting in Spreaker that allows us to broadcast directly to Spotify. So that's cool. I mean, just one more place for us to be heard on, and the great universe that we like to call Spaceboy Universe. So, but other than that, how are we doing over there, so long?
Doing okay. We're back with air conditioning, like we mentioned last week. Still cool. Mm-hmm. Gratefully.
I see you're wearing your Deadpool jacket.
Yes, I'm having to put the jacket back on. The cat has moved back into the garage because it's too cool for her in here. Mm-hmm. So she was actually loving the heat, and then she decided she couldn't take it anymore. Mm-hmm. So, but so it's been a fairly uneventful week, although it seems like the whole year is crappy. But we won't get into that and bring everybody down and get into that. So,
well, we take the perspective of I had to go to school uphill, in the snow, and we did it anyway because we loved it. And so we're kind of like getting through this year, and a lot of obstacles that have been thrown our way. And blast you, Patrick Spohr, for bringing up retrograde.
I feel like,
It's just like, it seems like when it rains, it pours. It's during retro.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing we can say is, hey, at least we have each other. Mm-hmm. I can't say it with a straight face.
Well, hold on. That just makes me sad because, most of the time I feel like I don't have you because you're buried inside your iPhone reading the book.
Yeah, but you can see me. I'm right there.
I know, but still, the eye contact is very important to me.
I don't like to be looked at, so... You shouldn't have married me, I guess.
But anyway, this is a good time of the year in the sense of TV is concerned. A lot of
things
our shows
are coming back.
Yeah.
Things we just completely forgot about.
Yeah, things we haven't seen in ages.
It's just like because it's so far away.
I mean, you start talking about Venture Brothers, and that's pretty exciting.
Oh my goodness, Venture Brothers. It's been 2 years since we've had any new content. Yeah, I read this article to you, and I didn't realize that's so long you forget the show exists. Mm-hmm. We still have like the first 3 or 4 seasons on DVD. That's how old this show is. Mm-hmm. Before they offered it as something you could buy on streaming like Amazon. So I don't even remember. I just have the vaguest recollection of what we saw last from them. But the article I read about season 7 of Venture Brothers says the premiere episode, which is tomorrow at midnight, is going to blow our minds and really satisfy long-term fans like us. Mm-hmm. A lot of callbacks and references. They've taken a lot of the superfluous characters that aren't needed. He says anybody that's on the screen is there because they're supposed to be. They need to be. They're not throwing in a bunch of wacky characters just for comedy. They say even the animation looks better. Mm-hmm. Like that's come a long way. Yeah,
the preview I saw was pretty tight. I think that there was a part that I kind of agreed with you when you were talking about it, how they should have focused more on the comedy with the brothers, mm-hmm. Dean and Hank.
Yeah, that's what they said. They will make them funnier. And like I said, I just had the most vague recollection of like 1 or 2 scenes that we saw. I know that they made it to New York because they inherited his brother's wealth. And right. I'm like, yeah, they're going to screw that up so bad. So he's actually wealthy now.
Right.
So, and he still has both his sons with him. You'd think they'd want to go out on their own, but they don't seem to want to get away from their dad. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And, of course, another show, which is kind of funny because at first you mentioned you weren't thrilled to get back into it, but as we've gotten closer, your interest has peaked up, and that's been Better Call Saul.
I've always been interested in it. I just resent why. I mean, for animation, I give you a little leeway because it takes a while. Rick and Morty took a little while, mm-hmm. but why does it take so dadgum long to film a television series?
Well, it's interesting.
In this day and age, remember Happy Days? New season every fall.
Well, the thing is that we're dealing with cable standards, and cable, they only do an average of 13 episodes, and then you have to wait practically a year.
I don't buy that crap.
Now, previously, I believe Better Call Saul came out in February around that time or April, but this one they kind of delayed until now. But have you seen previews to it?
I have not had time to sit down and see a preview. I've heard what you told me about the possibility of where is Jimmy McGill, Saul's brother. Mm-hmm. And that whole dynamic between the two brothers has just been utterly fascinating, like gripping the edge of your seat. And they're doing this exact same thing in Better Call Saul that they did in Breaking Bad. They make you root for somebody who's doing something bad, mm-hmm. unscrupulous, illegal, and unethical. How do they make you like someone that should not be likable? That guy should be in jail.
But you like him, though. You like Jimmy. I mean, there's a certain...
but they're doing the same thing in Better Call Saul. Well, you like Jimmy, and you know where he's going, and you know he's going to be unscrupulous, and you know he's going to be smarmy, but you like him, and you're rooting for him.
Okay, hold on for a second, Solana. Would you not agree that, he's tried to make amends, he's tried to be the good guy,
But his brother just won't have it because his brother's already got some kind of mental issue anyway, where he's set in a way, he's set in this lock.
So it goes. It's almost like why go against the current, if you will, and just go with the current and then become who you're supposed to be. It's how I look at Jimmy. Is like, he's tried to do what is right. One, because of he wanted to make his brother like him. Two, because of Kim. He wants to. It seems like he's got a good thing with Kim. And
but he's tried to do the right thing, the moral thing, and it just didn't jibe with his character. And we're all waiting for him to become the man that we knew on Breaking Bad, and we're trying to watch his metamorphosis. We know it's coming. It's like we're perched because they're bringing in some of the bad guys from Breaking Bad because this is a prequel. It's happening before Breaking Bad. So
I don't know. I mean, just this excitement that we're giving it to it right now.
I love the guy who plays Nacho, Michael Mando.
Yeah.
He was on some Breaking Bad, but he gets more of a bigger role in Better Call Saul. And he was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as one of the bad guys. Right at the end, he confronts Michael Keaton's character in prison. That's Michael Mando, and I'm like, oh, he's so cute,
But so lots to look forward to with Better Call Saul. It's going to be intense, and so 2 shows I can think of right off the top of my head that is pretty exciting. But and
I didn't see him coming. I didn't even know.
It's
like boom, they're here. As
we were talking before the show, we brought up a couple of shows that they're remaking, and I guess we're just getting to that age where rebooting a show like, for example, Charlie's Angels.
We've already done that twice.
Yeah, we've already seen that. We're ready to move on.
Are they rebooting stuff because of the generation behind us didn't get to experience the originals?
I guess. Now, I'd like to see, you brought up Alf. The 80s sitcom, back then. I mean, you weren't into it, but as a kid in the 80s, I was. I still have my Alf lunchbox.
I don't know if I can really have a leg to stand on because I was really into Mork and Mindy. Now, I don't think that stands up as well either, the test of time, but it shows Robin Williams' early brilliance, I think, as a comedian. So
what I was going to say is that I'd be curious to see what they're going to do with Alf. But as far as like something like a Charlie's Angels thing, we've seen it, we've done it, let's move on. And I agree with you. Why are we rehashing this stuff? Why aren't there writers writing new stuff out there? What is it that draws people back to wanting to do this? And it's like, before you get into it, let me...
Are you talking about movies?
Yeah, let me respond to what I'm saying, is that, maybe it's the impression that, sure, we're old. We've seen a lot of things, but then you have somebody that's much younger, let's say millennials, who never experienced Alf or experienced Charlie's Angels, or maybe saw the reboot of the Charlie's Angels and thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I'd like to
go back and watch the original
and see that again. Well, maybe the original doesn't do the test of time.
Well, let me counteract that by something I read today. Places like Netflix and Hulu have seen the incredible value of producing original content to keep subscribers. Well, case in point, like Stranger Things, The Handmaid's Tale over there on Hulu, which I don't have a clue what that is and don't care. But they have their big hits, and they're keeping up with it, as well as fostering. I don't know if they're fostering the MCU stuff, or if they're buying that, as far as the TV verse, DC and MCU. As I learned today, the streaming rights for Star Wars belongs to Turner Broadcasting, and they will not let it go, and they won't release it to Disney. Now, this isn't like buying it. It's like you hop on Amazon and you buy all episodes of Star Wars. This is going onto a service and streaming it to you.
Right.
They won't give up the rights because Disney wants Star Wars back so they can put it on their own streaming service that's coming.
Which they're trying to build right now.
And I don't know if TBS is doing that to be a dick, or if they're just, that's their only moneymaker, or, they're just trying to be difficult and they think it's funny. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they went over there with a bunch of cash, but Turner said no. and turned him away. So
I did watch. What was that I watched? The Jedi thingy. What's the last Star Wars that was out?
Oh, the Last Jedi. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that.
Is that
Now,
the name of it?
yes,
Yeah,
the Last Jedi. So this is. I've been waiting for this time for a long time to discuss this with
But
you.
I do get the point of the film.
Okay, you get the point of the film in what sense?
Because when Yoda showed up,
Yeah.
he's like, the whole point of the Force is not to have that knowledge with these elite few Jedi. It's for anybody that can understand it and use it and draw it in. And it's about the balance. So it's okay for the Jedi to end because they don't have exclusive rights to this knowledge. It should be for, I guess, all.
Okay, but that's, you could take out that segment and go with it, right? But overall, as an English major... And
I'm laughing about the chess thing.
Oh, and as far as you've read a lot of stories, and as far as the story overall for this movie was concerned, your thoughts?
I don't know if you want to call it conflict between Rey and Kylo, or Ben Solo, however you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's mostly Kylo. That interested me. And like, what is going on there? How come they have this connection? Who is Rey? How does she have this natural gift for the Force? She's like, she's not even trying. She wasn't taught any of it by anyone. She just is like naturally flowing through her. And I think Kylo suspects that too. So I was interested in that story, but they kept going off into these weird, stupid, idiotic tangents, throwing in humor for the sake of humor, which is like, okay, that doesn't belong there. Except for the point where she goes, can you put on a shirt or something? Because that whole torso of his was like, okay, we don't need to see that.
Just before it came on, I started laughing because I was like...
The memes
I was
about
like,
it.
okay, Solana, I'm wondering what she's going to
say. Well, see, I'd seen all the memes about
Right.
it like beforehand, so I knew it was coming, but...
So let's...
I liked all that. I feel like I've missed something integral because I've seen them all. I haven't seen 1 and 2. I've seen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now.
So you've seen...
Did I miss something big? Where the bleep did the Snoke character come from?
Well, that's you, me...
He just showed up out of the blue.
A lot of people are still confused by that, and he gets killed.
Was he behind the Emperor?
We don't know yet. We don't know jack squat because Rian Johnson killed him. And
that's pretty sneaky the way he did it.
So we don't know if JJ's going to somehow figure out the solution to that. But let me backstep here for a second because, one, how did you feel about Leia getting sucked out into space in that explosion?
That was just to show, I guess that was just to show us she did have the ability to use the Force, but all these years she chose not to pursue that like Luke did. And that was cool, but I guess she thought she just had too much left to do. She's like, I ain't dying out in space. I'll get my butt back on this ship. But did Luke go and isolate himself because of guilt?
That's the idea, is that he didn't want to be found, he didn't want to be found, but he sure as heck left a map to go find him. So let me backtrack here because I want to get your responses to certain things here. One, did you notice how women heavy the movie was?
Yes, I understand the agenda here. I wasn't really paying close attention other than that I could pick out Carrie Fisher's daughter when her scenes came up. She had the little screw top buns, which I didn't mind.
Even at the beginning of the movie, she's there, and you could kind of hear Carrie Fisher's voice because it's her daughter.
Yeah, well,
Billy
why
Lord.
not let her be in the movie? That's fine.
Not a problem.
I had a problem with Laura Dern. I'm like, what the flip is she doing here?
I
don't like her.
Could the story have been done without her?
Yeah, and I mean, it was like to take a stiletto heel and smush it on a man's private parts. That's what it felt like.
So in other words, do you feel that they neutered Poe Dameron?
Yes. That was obvious like, we don't need you, get out of here, flyboy. You know, I was just like, this is harsh. This is not storytelling of Star Wars. This is a hidden, not that hidden agenda. This is definitely a feminist treatise of some kind.
So when I told you, like, Laura Dern's character could have been easily replaced with Akbar. And
Is Akbar still alive?
Yeah, he was in the movie. He's Akbar.
I guess those squid people age well.
And so when I said he could have done that part and the death would have been more meaningful, would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Besides the fact of trying to do hyperspace into a
Because
space,
it was a trap anyway.
Yes. So, you know, okay, cool. So you're right on track with my thinking, and I'm glad to see you see what I've been complaining about.
That was harsh.
Complaining about all this time.
Yeah, for months on end with no.
I mean, so, you know, basically your overview of the movie, based on that, do you feel like it was true to Star Wars?
No, it was too many modern messages in there.
And here's my next one, and I already know the answer to
They
this.
tried to be a little Guardians of the Galaxy with their humor, and it fell flat.
Yes, I think that's a good view from that. Now, would you say I already know this? You know, is there? Let me ask you this. Let me rephrase this. Are there any movies that you just like to watch over and over again?
Sure, I like 4, 5, and 6. I can watch those over and over again. But that might be nostalgia on my part.
But still, you would take the time, which is surprising for you, for me to hear you to say that.
And there's stupid movies I watch over and over again.
But like this movie, The Last Jedi, is not.
I'm over and done with it.
Yeah, you're never going to come back and see it again. And that's the point about this movie is that
disposable.
I think a lot of people went to this movie and it was like, what did I just watch?
It wasn't a classic.
Yeah, it's not.
This is not the mythos of the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. I don't know what that was. That was just some, like, fan fiction somebody put on the screen.
And tell me you weren't disturbed when Luke went to go milk that sea cow. And
what the flip was that all about? Why did we have to see that where he gets his milk from? You know?
Yeah, I was a little disturbed by that one too, and
those creatures are totally okay with it. You know, like, come up and just squeeze me, and you know, like a cow. You know,
right. So overall, out of all the complaining I've been saying about The Last Jedi, would you concur with why I'm upset about it?
Because you're a fanboy and you're invested in it, and you care about Star Wars, and I am so freaking over it. Don't care.
But, you know, when you say I'm a fanboy and I'm invested...
I'm not putting you down for that. Yeah. You're legitimate.
I mean, I'm passionate about the movie because, because it means something to me because when I saw it as a child, and it's something that it's mystical, it's something adventurous, it's something that when I see... here's another good example. The original Indiana Jones movie. When I see that movie, I could see that movie over and over again, and it's the adventure. You know, it's Indy going in there and grabbing the gold statue at the beginning and getting out of there and then getting it stolen from him and then getting it back.
That was an epic venture along the lines of, like, Ulysses, you know, epic poem type things. Again, that's the hero's journey. This just felt like some mishmash. Again, I hate to keep saying fan fiction, although I have read some really great fan fiction. Now, all fan fiction is just regular everyday person like you and me wrote something and they posted it somewhere where we can read it. That's all that is.
So I'm happy that you finally got to watch that, and
it was my idea to watch it.
Yeah. I was surprised, but I was like, okay, just you know, I guess I sat down. Did I watch the whole thing with you again?
Yeah, you did. I said, now I'm going to have questions.
But I
question during the movie.
You definitely question during movies, but
I do it when we're at home.
I think it wasn't so bad when I was watching the Star Wars movie with you, and because it was like, because as I was watching it again, I was really being able to see a lot of things more clearly, instead of like originally when I first saw it, like, okay, I've been slapped around, what had just happened to me, you know. I could see things more clearly, and so I don't know. I'm sure as we progress to the future and we know more, I'll be talking more Star Wars stuff, but it is what it is. And, speaking of Star Wars, let's segue back into the Star Trek universe. And
Patrick Stewart's returning.
Yes, Patrick Stewart is returning to Star Trek via the CBS All Access. So they haven't really kind of discussed what he's going to be doing. Maybe it's the future from the Next Generation, and it's in that universe, in that vein. We don't know if it's Admiral Picard or
the show
Ambassador Picard.
Will not be a reboot of the Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
It will be an exploration of the next chapter of Picard's life. His last appearance was in the 2002 film Star Trek Nemesis, which was bad. And he appeared in several video games, meaning he probably did voiceovers, and in for Robot Chicken and Family Guy, and potentially playing Picard in a new Star Trek show mid-June 2018. This when the news broke. So overwhelming joy and privilege to welcome Patrick Stewart back to the Star Trek fold. His return is comes after, he retired Charles Xavier from the X-Men, so that's over and done with. And so it's going to, I guess it's just going to explore the next chapter of Picard's life. And I hope they could stick to freaking canon, because you've got the Alpha Quadrant War, that happened with DS9, and that affected everybody. And then in the books, I don't know if they pay attention to the books, after we get past that war and everything's like, we're trying to recover and everything, I believe there's a blowout Borg battle.
Well, Admiral Janeway heads to the Delta Quadrant and to do battle there.
And the Borg are not trying to assimilate, they're trying to annihilate, because they found out they can't assimilate us, so they're like, we'll just get rid of you so there are only us, only our people left. So I just, that's in the books, and I need to read it. There's a 6-book arc about all of that. And it's not cheap, but I do want to read it. They're ebooks. Like The Shadow, Destiny, Gods of Night. I really would like to read those.
I know this recently we purchased the Adventures Infinity War, and we
watched it
again. Watched it again. We had to break it up in 2 nights, but
I didn't realize how long that movie was.
It was long, and we saw it in the theater. Remember, we went to the late show.
I just don't remember sitting there that long in the theater.
Yeah, it was after midnight when we got out of that place. But your thoughts quickly on seeing it again? And
well, I didn't know what to make of it, other than because you know stuff that I don't about this world. In order to fix things, Tony Stark is going to have to, I guess, get with the ones that are left. And there's going to have to be some kind of either time travel or exploring alternate dimensions to get characters back, or to get people to help to undo it, or go after Thanos or something. And he told me now that Thanos has what he wants, he goes back to not his home planet, because that was destroyed, I think. Or he goes back to some planet and becomes a farmer. And I'm like, somebody punch him in the face. I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Ant-Man will tell. We have to see Ant-Man. But
well, the thing that I took away from Infinity War is the message was, I took it literally as like they're trying to show us a vision of the future, and this is an Illuminati agenda, where if they can take out half the population, then that takes care of all our resources running out and makes us have less of us to be more controllable.
Okay, so if you have godlike powers like Thanos had with the glove, right? Why not just snap your fingers and double the amount of resources?
Can you do that with that thing?
You're a god. You could do anything. You have the ability.
He was so dang bitter. I mean, so tired of bitter villains. Like, get some freaking counseling. That's nothing the rest of us don't deal with every day. Jeez, we don't pop off, go get Infinity Gauntlets and wiping out populations.
Well, thank goodness Infinity things are not there. So we're going to go to break. We'll be back after this.
Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sirlana.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Doraliz and Lil. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sir Ramos.
Doraliz Dora Ramos is the co-founder of ExitusVR and the first and only escape room created in a virtual world located in Space City, Houston. Dora retired after serving 27 years as a Deputy U.S. Marshal. She now brings joy to Houston with fun games for the whole family at ExitusVR. Her job as a law enforcement officer has helped her develop a special technique for team building exercises using virtual reality games. Her partner, ExitusVR, Nicole Gregorio, has a background in the medical field. Nicole is in charge of selecting games that challenge players positively by incorporating not only fun games, but also games with scenarios that stimulate the brain on multiple levels. These two women combined their creative ability with their professional backgrounds to offer a one-of-a-kind VR experience. Please welcome Doraliz to the show.
Hey, Dora.
Thank you.
Hey, Dora.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. You know, I'm trying to remember, was the first time we met, was it at a Maker Fair? I believe it was Maker's
Fair.
Yeah.
Maker's Fair.
And
yeah.
yes, and so I was just trying to think, because when you go to so many of these events, they kind of bleed together, and because some of the same people are at the same things, over and over, and they get kind of lost in the minutia. But I think what stood out is we started talking to you, and we had a great conversation about VR and in general, and then all of a sudden, out of left field, you mentioned that you were a deputy with the U.S. Marshal, and it was like, what? Wait, where did this come from? And it was pretty off the beaten path. So I guess let's kind of start there, if you don't mind. Talk about how you got into being a marshal, and then I guess we can kind of lead into eventually how it's inspired and incorporated your knowledge into what you do now.
Well, I was in charge of the threat division of the Southern District of Texas for almost 8 years, and 8 to 10 years, and during that time, I get to analyze individuals, analyze how they think, what they're going to do, in an effort to try to avoid any threat that happen to it, either a federal judge or anyone who works in the federal building. And one of the things I learned is to recognize patterns in individuals and things that they do, and I take that to virtual reality, to the corporate team buildings. And that's what I do, to try to make the best team building experience when they come in. Try to use what I learned with the Marshal Service in reading individuals and how are they going to react to a particular scenario, and what to expect from individuals that are alpha. They're which ones are not going to talk, which ones are going to try to engage them, to speak to each other, to talk to each other as a team, and to get the best out of them. So that's what I bring from what I learned from the Marshal Service. It was 27 years of catching bad guys and doing all the good stuff you see in the movies. So I'm very proud of what I did.
Sounds
in
like
the Marshal Service.
Sounds like you have to do some kind of like profiling and make psychology and then communications, and that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I did. My job was to analyze an individual, do an assessment on a situation, and the majority of the situations were one individual. Either he had a mental problem, a disability, he had an infatuation towards a certain individual that works for us, and I had to diffuse that so they wouldn't do what they say they were going to do.
Wow.
And I can say 100% of the cases I was able to diffuse them. You use different methods. One of the ones I use is bringing them to me instead of to anybody else out there. So my judges say I have a lot of fans. I have a lot of fans. So I get a lot of phone calls, and still to this day, I talk to a few of them just to keep them in line and see how they're doing in their life. And it works. It really works.
Well, you definitely come across someone that is you have a magnetic personality. Immediately, I know that when we met you, we were attracted to you. Just your command and your presence was just this was a person we wanted to get to know. So, over the 27 years as a Deputy U.S. Marshal, I'm sure you have many stories that have impacted you in your career there. Is there any of them that kind of stand out that you can share with us?
One of the ones that really touched me was we were searching for a young kid, about 19, 20 years old, who have had a record and have done violent offense. And, of course, you go to the mom's house, which is where they're going to be most of the time. Mm-hmm. And mom is hiding him in the closet. So going in the closet, trying to get him out, and finding yourself with an individual who really didn't want to live anymore. So we had an individual hiding in the closet with his hands hidden. And then a few minutes before, I had talked to his 15-year-old brother, and he had said something to me that was very touchy. There was like, he looked up to his brother. And I immediately thought about it, and I looked at him, and he was just screaming at me, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. And I looked at him, and I said, your brother thinks the highest of you, and he looks up to you. And I kept keeping on it, and the kid just started crying and showed his hands, and we pulled him out of the closet. So that was one of the moments that I tell you, it was hard, because I had to transition from a serious, I have a gun pointing at you, come out of the closet attitude to a real down-to-earth. This is, you have feelings, and people are out there that love you. And that's one of the things that I really remember from my career, getting that boy out of that closet and getting him alive. That makes a lot.
Wow.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
It's almost like right out of a movie, but I guess art imitating life and life imitating art. But I could see where that could be so much of an impact on you. And
I can't imagine the training you have to go through just to be able to deal with situations like that.
I know. I mean, it's not only the training that the Marshal Service offer, but it's the training of day-to-day working with individuals that had mental disabilities, or you have to switch. The Marshal Service career, you go hunting fugitives is our main goal, correct? Mm-hmm. Then the threat division, you have to think outside the box. Your thinking process is not going in the house and just bringing out the fugitive. You are dealing with individuals that have actual problems, whatever it is. They had a divorce, they got triggered by a divorce situation, they blame losing their home to a judge, things like that. And those are situations that you cannot distance yourself from. And you have to treat it differently than when you're hunting a fugitive. So that's one of the things that I was able to use all those experiences and bring it to what I'm doing today, which is, it makes me a little bit more sensitive to certain things in life. I see them in a different way. That's what I appreciate the most out of what I've done for the Marshal Service, 27 years.
Wow, and I imagine that's carried over in the business that you're in now, as you described, as far as team building and getting in touch with people and kind of, I guess observing their behaviors and figuring out who meshes well and who.
So could you analyze Spaceboy here and figure out when and if he's going to pop off, or under what circumstances, or?
It's funny.
Still got the skills.
One of the things I'm able to do is describe whether an individual is going through a moment in where he's trying a new game. People that are trying virtual reality, most of them are trying it for the first time. So what their experiences are going to be and what their emotional sensitivity to whatever experience is, whether you're seeing a monster in front of you or you're seeing a roller coaster or whatever it is, there's going to be feelings going through your mind. And those feelings may express themselves by you trying to jump or trying to do something physical that you shouldn't be doing. So those things I have to sort of like see it in a perspective of, I got to avoid it. So I got to prevent that. So I'm seeing it from the individual point of view, how they're going to react before they do it, so I can catch them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I think I'm good at it, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's preventing that emotion to get out of hand. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
There's certain people that we have some of the games that for example, in our escape room mine horror, we don't tell you that you're going to be facing certain animals in there, certain creatures. And there's some people that really are afraid of those creatures, Mm-hmm. That particular individual, I just go near them and said, okay, this is your time to get even. This is your time to hurt them, to destroy them. And they take a different approach to it. It's not closing their eyes, I don't want to see it. It's, okay, I'll do it. I can do it. And it changes the way they react to the game in a much positive. And I think that's what one of the things that VR does is help. There's many, many games out there that are done with the particularity of helping people that have phobias. And I think that's very positive, because there's people that have phobias to snakes or phobias to roaches or things like that. Mm-hmm. And there's games specifically created for them to help them through that phobia, But when you find yourself playing a game in an escape scenario that we have, and they're throwing you in there, and you don't know what you're going to face, and you find someone who's really, really scared, you have to approach them in a different way. And that's one of the things I have learned. Little by little, you can do it.
Do you get people who come there to ExitusVR to play and have a good time, and they do end up genuinely afraid?
We have a few people that get, they say, oh, no, I'm scared of this. And those are the people I pay attention to. I work with them. And believe it or not, I don't have to tell you, our reviews say it all. If you look at the reviews, everybody gets a positive review. They have a fantastic time. The majority of them are talking about our staff and how we treat them. And I think that's what keeps people coming back. Keep them coming back and keep them sharing it with their friends. And I think that's the most important thing, how you treat them through the process of facing fear in the game. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a step back, Dora, because I really want to know, how does one transition from being a Marshal, and then all of a sudden you are a co-founder of virtual
cutting edge
reality
technology,
cutting edge. Can you fill in that blank that we're trying to find out? And how did that all happen for you?
Well, I was about 6 months before my retirement date, and mind you, it's voluntary, because I still could have done 7 more years with the Marshal Service, and I said, no, I want to retire young and I want to enjoy life. And we were looking at opening just a regular escape room, but in Houston there's so many, it's saturated, that I started looking and said, okay, if I'm going to spend time doing something, I might as well do something that's unique, something that never been done before, and something that I could keep doing without hesitation, because nobody else can have it. Our games, we have exclusivity to our games. We can sell them also. If you are in another city like Dallas or in Austin or in San Antonio, we can sell you the licenses and you can open your shop somewhere, anywhere. But nobody else can open it in Houston. So that's one of the most important things to me. If I'm going to invest in my retirement, I'm going to invest it in something exciting, new. I always like games. I always play. I mean, I don't know, PSP was my favorite. I still have my PSP, and I love games, and I think they bring joy and they bring happiness to a lot of people. So I said, why don't we do that? Why don't we do something like that will bring happiness and will make me enjoy life too? You know?
Yes.
And that's how it was born.
So yeah, along the way, you know, I guess you were forming this, and I guess how did Nicole come into this situation with you?
Nicole, with her background in Nicole and I have been friends forever, and with her background in the medical field, I think it would have been, you know, from the get-go, someone who can take care of what's important in terms of health, in terms of what will be okay for people. You don't want to give anybody a heart attack. Plus, we want to keep everything sanitized. It's one of the things we do very, very important to us is keeping all the headsets sanitized. And so she keeps everything in line when it comes to health. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we gotta make sure we buy this. We gotta make sure we have all the sanitizers we need for everything, and keeping everything clean for everybody, because this is a public service we're giving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so many people will come to our shop and will touch things, and we want the rest of the people that are coming to feel safe. You know,
mm-hmm.
If they're gonna have a good time, we don't want them to have any diseases or anything. So she takes care of the important things, the health, I think. And the games, the games, what games will be okay, what games will not be. You know, we have games, people offering certain games to us that are, no way, I would never do it. You know,
mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. But it's just doing it smart. You know,
right. It sounds
so
like she's the balance to your yin to yang. You're like, okay,
yes.
I'm ready for the excitement. Now let's pump it up, and then she kind of counteracts and like, okay, well, let's do this, but keep it regulated. But it sounds like
yep.
you're a perfect balance there.
She is. She keeps everything in order in a good way.
Well, the first time Space One I ever experienced VR was at the Exitus booth at the first Maker Faire that he and I attended as exhibitors, and
yes,
we'd never.
I remember.
Or was it Comic Palooza? It was Comic Palooza 2017 or 2016.
Yes.
And one of the gentlemen from Houston VR was there helping out, and Josh, and we got to. Spaceboy experienced it first time playing some kind of space shooter game, and he was hooked.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I did the drawing game where you're just sort of like drawing in space.
Tilt brush.
Yeah, I had seen it before on like YouTube, but I was just like,
yes.
this is too much fun because I live in Photoshop and Adobe Creative Cloud and all that stuff.
Uh-oh.
But I had no idea it was going to be like that kind of immersive. And
so immersed. Yeah.
My only concern was I wish I had like a little safety barrier around me so I wouldn't wander into tables and things. And then they sent us
Tilt Brush have done so many updates on the game on Tilt Brush, so many updates that now you can have people over that they can help you with your paintings,
mm-hmm.
whatever your creation is.
I saw
inside
it
the same space
on Jimmy Fallon late night or whatever with Jimmy Fallon. He used the program as Pictionary, so you had to draw it in virtual reality. So it was an extra layer of difficulty for these celebrities to do this. But so I was like, but as far as taking it home versus going to a place to like ExitusVR, what is the future? Is it going to be going to a place like ExitusVR, or is it going to be, because it just seems a little pricey to get a setup in your home. Is it just more fun to do it in a group setting?
I think it is. I think the more people inside the same game, the better it is. You get to share that experience. There's a lot of loners that love to play by themselves and be in their own space. Great. But I think if you share an experience like this, there's so many memories you can build with your friends that it's just unbelievable.
Indeed it is. So we're at the top of the hour, Dora, so hold on. We're going to take our break, and we'll come back. We'll be talking more with Doraliz Ramos, co-founder of ExitusVR, so don't go anywhere.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sirlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
So, Dora, I think this is probably an easy question for you. Would you embrace VR in other aspects of life, not just gaming, if it was available?
Yes, definitely. We actually have experienced VR with a company that contacted us to do a trial in a scenario of like school teaching. They're preparing. They're almost done with this program, and what they do is they have about 28 to 20 to 35 students in the same VR space, and they get to learn the periodic table science, and they get to build molecules and atoms, and so it's pretty interesting, very visual. Everybody's in the same classroom. One person is giving the class, and everybody's in their virtual avatar look, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's coming in the future is more schools are getting involved. I have talked to people from the University of Harris County, and people getting involved in and wanting to buy equipment.
Oh wow!
Of course, a process to try to plan something like that to teach, and I think it's gonna be the future between AR and VR. It's going to be the future, honestly.
Well, what about
it's an easy way.
Your former job? What about using AR and VR in training? Like U.S. Marshals and being in situations where you can play it out, but no one gets hurt.
Yes, definitely. We when I was training with the Marshal Service, we had a machine that was as big as a room, and it was scenarios. And you have the bad guy coming out, and then civilians, and who are you going to shoot, and how you're going to do it. And it was a huge machine, and I had seen training, and there's many VR games that are made for that will help train a police officer, an agent, with their own gun, their own weapon, attached to any sensors or anything that you have as a controller to help you understand when to shoot, how you should shoot, how to reload, when do you need to, change your magazine, things like that. There are games right now that help you do that. And I think that's in the works. There's so many systems and so many private entities that are going that way. And I think that's the future. So we're training in not only that, in so many facets, so many types of work, construction, airplane mechanics. There's so many things that can be done in VR. Because physically, you might be in a place where you don't have a plane that you can fix the engine, but they can teach you with VR how to take that plane engine apart and how to put it together and how to see the problem that happened. Whatever happens, you can fix it right there and there.
Same with
that
surgery.
Already exists.
Same with surgeries. I think.
Yes, oh, definitely. Yeah, there's many games right now. They're actually experimental that helps you understand how the heart works and how can you operate in that heart. And wow, it's just insane. I have seen people from Spain that have a program like that. It's an institute, and they're teaching students, medical students, how to do operations with VR.
That's pretty cool.
It's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So VR is not going away. It's just going to find some more practical applications. Maybe not necessarily in our gaming in our homes, but I know there seems like there might be a push, or there's an interest in making things more at home, more like holographic, where you have an image projected over.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because you mentioned earlier, Dora, in your conversation about AR. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, that's another topic that AR that interests me. There's so many games right now that offers you that opportunity. We're looking into a company that offering us a game that you can take up to 100 people can play it.
Wow.
And it works with different types of patterns that they provide you, and it's a clue-solving kind of thing. And those patterns, they use an iPad, and that helps you elevate the figure, so you're actually looking at it in like a hologram. So it's there, and you don't need any devices aside from an iPad and whatever documentation they provide you, which is sometimes it's just a picture that looks blotchy and you don't see anything there. But when you use a certain application, you lift that up and you can see what the image is, and it comes up your iPad, and it's insane. It looks like you're acting AR, but you're not.
Right.
Just with your own eyes, you can see it. And right now, there are games like that. It's just fantastic how things are evolving.
Right.
It's finances. It's all about money.
We've seen some of that with I guess Nintendo's Pokemon.
Go, yeah.
Pokemon Go, and then of course there's been some other games where you could attach your iPhone to a gun, and it would show you monsters flying around, and you shoot the monsters while you're looking through, and just looking in whatever environment you're in at that time. So the augmented reality is very interesting, to say the least. It doesn't require a lot of equipment. It just requires an interface, which is a little bit different from the virtual reality, which is still using, I guess,
it's a little more expensive,
yeah.
Honestly. A little bit more expensive is what I've seen. I met a guy here in Houston who was creating an AR headset, and it was about $3,000 or $4,000 for the headset. It doesn't require anything else, just that. But still, I think the production of that is a little bit high, and
But we've seen a cost come down with VR. I know that
with VR, yes.
Yeah, this last a couple years, Oculus Rift, we saw a big drop in the price for Oculus Rift come down, and I mean the technology has come such a long way since the late '90s, how big and bulky it was then. Yes, definitely, and I prefer Oculus as to HTC Vive. I like HTC Vive. I just like the comfort that the Oculus offer. Right.
Having it in your head for a longer period of time, I think it's a little lighter in your head. The visuals are the same. You see fantastic visuals, but I think it's a little lighter in your head. And yeah, they're coming down in price. Incredible, but you have to think that it's not the headset. Is the computer that's attached to it.
True.
Of course, they're coming down in price, but those prices have a significant financial discrepancy. The prices are, you're getting a cheaper computer, but how much can it hold? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can buy a small computer, but then you have to put, let's say you can put 6 games or 10 games, and nothing else fits. Now you have to erase them and then put some more. You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. If you want a good computer that you can put a lot of games in there, then you got to spend the money.
The desktop I bought said on the sticker, it says it's VR ready for games and hardware. I got it. It's a gaming laptop, but I got it to run Creative Cloud because it's the same specs that I would need. So if I ever I'm ready for it if I ever can afford it. So
yeah, if you buy a $399 Oculus headset, you can plug it in and play.
Get the games off of Steam.
Yeah, the games off of Steam, but the games off of Steam, then you put them in your computer, so they're occupying space. And that's what I'm talking about. You have to, how much space you have.
Well, I've got everything.
That too.
I've got everything of significance on an external drive, as far as my working files. So, and I have those backed up to a cloud, so because I don't trust hard drives anymore.
Yeah.
I keep dying on us.
But I do want to say, you know, when I got to play the game, you know, the headset was really comfortable, and I felt like I could have played for hours, to be honest with you. I mean, that's how comfortable it felt.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you.
So, you know, I feel that it was a good headset, and you know, technology keeps roaming it down. Now, let's face it, you know, things are going to get smaller. And, you know, eventually, you know, when you talk about space and things like that, I mean, when we look, just like I said, look back to the past, I remember my 386 computer had like a 2 gig, you know, a 2 gig hard drive, you know, and that was like, wow, it was like, that was impressive. And now we're talking about terabytes, and then you know, now just down the corner, we're talking about quantum computers, and so things are going to get faster, things are going to get smaller, and one can only imagine what the future of VR could be.
Oh yes, it's going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing at him because our first computer in my household that my dad bought had an 8 megabyte hard drive.
Yes.
Ooh. That was a big deal. Can you imagine?
With a floppy disk.
Mm-hmm. 2 floppy disk hard drives. Yeah, that was
Yep.
That's how old I am. We've come so far in just from 1990 to 99. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the early 2000s, things just went crazy with technology.
Crazy. Yep.
And
now, you know, they're building computers smaller. And it's getting, you know, you have a lot of backpacks, so you can put it in a backpack and just put your headset on and go on. And you know, the heavy weight is your battery pack. Mm-hmm. And the battery packs are getting smaller, too. So it's just going to be fantastic. The future of VR is insane.
Yeah, I know that when we did a prediction show, one of the predictions was from Solana, and she said that the VR is not going anywhere, and that has been true. In fact, that it hasn't gone anywhere, and you know, in the beginning, it looked like, oh, I don't know if this is going to survive, but the here and now, it's like, you know, I was kind of agreeing with Solana that. This technology, you know, and it was even a home run when we finally got to try it out for ourselves and to see how wonderful the technology is. And, you know, wouldn't you agree, Solana?
Well, what surprised me about it when I actually tried it was that I still need to keep my glasses on.
Yeah.
I still couldn't see anything without my glasses, and it was smushing my glasses, so I might have needed an adjustment with a headset, but still.
Well, you know, I had the glasses on too, you know, and but you know, it was snug. It was, but I liked the fact of how it felt on my face. I really felt that it wasn't like it wasn't going to limit me to like maybe 10. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to be like, okay, I can only play this for 10 seconds. No, it was nothing like that. It was like, man, I could play this for hours. One, I had to stop because I had other, you know, Spaceboy Universe duties to do because, you know, I'm at a convention interviewing people. And I was like, I don't want to go because my inner kid was saying, I want to play.
Well, they would have kicked you off there anyway. Well, later, after the convention, they tweeted us a little video of a guy dressed as Left Shark playing VR in his costume. And I'm like, this is hysterical. You're just going at it.
We got a few participants. Yeah, we had Spider-Man to play at the ExitusVR booth. We had the Shark Man to play. So yeah, it's always good to track the fun thing of the event. Why not bring it in? It's a lot of fun.
So, how long have y'all been going to the conventions? Is this something fairly recent in the past couple of years, or?
No, since we started with ExitusVR about 2.5 years now.
Okay. It's kind of like us with conventions too, and yeah. So it's kind of like we're like freshmen, and now we're getting into our sophomore year.
Yeah.
But I know
we appreciate the exposure and help out as much as we can. Spacemaker have given us a great opportunity with Comic Palooza, and we appreciate that very much. And there's a few others that we're not invited, or we're not welcome.
Really?
And they're lost. But some of them are really, really cool. And what we want to do is bring VR to people, get people to know VR. And honestly, right now there's a couple places in Houston that are opening, and I welcome them, because you know what? The more the better. The people engage themselves in VR, the more they're going to look for other things you can do in VR. Oh, wow, there's an escape room. Let's try it out. So it's not only that. It's all the places that are out there right now that are bringing VR, like the movie that was done in VR, the Ready Player One.
Oh, yes, we were going to ask you about
VR
that.
Brought VR to the next level, like into people's homes. Oh, let's check it out. Let's do a Google search. What do we have? Oh, and that's how people can find us. And it's fantastic. The more people come in, great. The more there's another shop that open up in or another adventure in VR that open up in one of those big chain. I can't remember which one. Dave and Buster's or one of them.
Yeah.
And it's a short VR experience. It's really cool. And once they get out, they're like hungry. I want to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we go? So they search and they find us. Let's go check it out. And they come in and try it. So I welcome every VR shop that is opening up their doors, because the more exposure to VR, the more interest people into trying it out. And Houston is like that. Houston is a cosmopolitan city, and it should offer diversity. And I think VR offers that. Mm-hmm. Either you can play in an arcade, or you can play in an escape room scenario for an hour. Whichever one you want, Houston should be able to provide that.
Indeed. I'm really surprised. I guess some people not liking y'all, and at the whether this or that. But one thing I wanted to bring up is that Maker Faire has been just open arms. David Bernay is just a wonderful person, and the reason I bring up Maker Faire is because we really get to see technology at these events, even though it's not just technology. But the last Maker Faire we went to, it was VR, and it was the 3D printing. Yeah, and clearly,
yes.
The two strongest things at the convention were these two, and it warms my heart that the VR was just strong there, but I could tell you, Dora, we love you in the sense that we follow you on social media, and we promote you when we can, and when we talk about VR. You may not see us recently, but you're in our hearts, and we try to convey that to our audience.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because we work very hard to bring something fun and something unique to Houston, such a cosmopolitan city, and I think people need to visit places like us and others that are open here in Houston that are available to have fun. You can have fun whether you're 80 to 10 years old. I mean, it's just a fun, and it warms my heart. Like today we had these customers that came last week and tried one of their games. They tried Cosmos, and they loved it. And they came back, and, I always have fun saying, my name is Dora. Hi, welcome to Exodus. Like Dora the Explorer. So they were nice enough today to bring me Dora the Explorer doll. So that made my day. And they play another one of our adventures, Mine Horror. So it was really nice. It was something that touched my heart. It was somebody who, I don't know them, and they were super, super sweet. So, it makes me feel great that they come in and have a good time. And one of the grandpas was like 70 years old, and the kid was like 16 years old, and the daughter was like 35 years old. So it was all this mix of ages, and they were able to talk to each other inside the game, work together, complete the missions, have fun, have a laugh, and then talk about it. You know, that's what I wanted to do.
That's wonderful.
Something that anyone can come and play, whatever age you are, and can do it together. You know? And that made me very happy.
That's always great when you can connect with, you know, when you offer somebody a service or, you know, you do it positively, and then, you know, when people see that positive nature come out and they're receptive of it, how they're willing to give back by either coming back or making a connection back with you. So it's really I think that makes it worthwhile when you're doing something creative or running a business of something like that.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I tell people, don't listen to me, just read the reviews, and you will see what kind of reviews ExitusVR has been getting. And I really appreciate Houston for the support of our small business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. And thank you guys for keeping us in your mind. And it's all about positive vibes.
It is.
We like cool people.
Yeah, we do like cool people, and we believe in karma. You know, so you know we believe in
definitely.
giving.
I do believe in that. 100%.
I was going to ask you.
What comes around goes around.
One of the critics of VR is having to still be tethered with your headset and your controllers. Do you ever foresee a day when we could get Bluetooth or wireless to actually catch up fast enough to process?
You know, there's already devices to use that are for that reason, but there's still a little bit of latency.
Yeah.
So meaning you're in the game, and that will cost you headaches. That will cost you. So they haven't perfected it completely. That is the fear behind it all. That's why not everybody's going wireless.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, the last thing you want is a customer playing for an hour and getting a headache. You know.
Mm-hmm.
When they finish with that, when that's done, and they get that clear out, you know, I think it will happen without a doubt. But so far, we just keep on hanging on the wires from the top and keeping them so they don't fall, and it's really cool, you know. It's kind of like you don't have wires, but you have wires. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My only concern is when I would play games on my PC, they're always like Doom and Duke Nukem and Wolfenstein. So these were like first-person shooters, and I would get so sick because of the motion sickness.
Yeah.
Does that still happen in VR, or is it too real? It's like you can't tell.
Honestly, there's certain games for me, I have to sit down because I can't do it. And some games that are sold for you to stand up and move around, and they're actually games that you have to sit down. So I have tried every game. I know how they're going to make you feel. So whoever goes inside that game, I watch carefully, because I provide a chair. You know, the chair is there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go Google Earth VR, it's a simple game, but you're flying through a city. Some people are not 100% happy with that because it might make you feel sick.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to sit down. If you're sitting down, you're touching something. You're sitting down, so you feel okay. You're not going to get sick. So it's knowing which games will make you feel uncomfortable to the point in where you feel sick, and knowing what to do with those individuals, and how to prevent that. And you know, sometimes it's just sitting down. There's a game of regatta. It's you're on a boat.
Yeah.
And you have to sit down on the floor. And that is the best way to do it. Because if you're standing up, oh my God, forget about that. You know? So there's other games like Windland that you're rappelling, or you have grapples that you have to go from building to building, from trees to trees, I cannot do it unless I'm sitting down. Because I know I'm not going to react well to it.
It's too
and
real.
some people is, okay, well, yeah, it's too real, exactly. So you have to know what games you have and how your customers are going to react to it. And not put them in danger, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because the last thing you want is somebody not to enjoy such a wonderful experience as VR.
That's cool. That you've got every aspect covered for your guests there. You can catch them if they fall. You can rehabilitate them if they get sick.
Honestly, yeah, we have thought about it really hard, and this is more than a business. This is a profession that you have to be good at if you're going to offer a service. Mm-hmm. People, you don't know what their background is, what they have, any kind of illness or anything that your games might influence negatively. So you have to prepare yourself for all that. So, everybody's saying, hey, let's go open a VR shop, easy, busy, but it's not. You have to think about all that so you can do something that people can really enjoy. The last thing you want is people walking out of your shop sick.
Throwing up in the parking lot.
I'm never coming here again. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not, it's counterproductive to your business. It's not realistic.
Right.
And that's one of the things we're very, very concerned about. And Nicole, doing the medical part, she thinks about those things. And she said, okay, this game doesn't work. This game worked. And we're very cautious with that.
Well, it's kind of like in any business. I hate to compare it to fast food. A burger with pickles may not work with you at that location, but then maybe a burger with extra onions is what everybody's craving. And
both are bad options.
But
I know.
I'm just saying here is like you're.
It would be nice if it would be as easy as that, but it's a bit more.
I know.
You're dealing with.
I'm oversimplifying
it. Definitely.
But it's kind of like in that same vein is what I'm saying is that you're tailor-making the experience for the user so that you get the best experience. So when they come in, it's like, hey, this is great. You're going to love it. And you're minimizing the impact because you've got Nicole working out the idea of, this is going to be good, this is going to be safe, and people are going to enjoy it because, it's going to minimize the, like Solana was saying, the third-person shooter thing. I'm the same way. That was one thing I was worried about when, I was going to slap a set of headphones or a set of visors on.
Headset,
headset. And it was nothing like that when I played the games, and it was wonderful. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour, so let's take this break, and we'll come back, and we'll continue our conversation if that's okay with you.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. All right, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Space Boy Universe. I'm Space Boy. She's Solana. And on the phone tonight we have Doraliz Ramos, co-founder of ExitusVR. So don't go anywhere.
You are listening to Space Boy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Solana.
Hey, Solana!
What?
If Space Boy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sir Ron.
All right. We're back. And we're having a wonderful conversation with Doraliz Ramos, co-founder of ExitusVR. What were you about to say, Sir Ron?
Well, we were talking on the break about how they're looking to develop some new games, some original plots, and they may have to have some kind of a contest to get that going. So that sounds interesting and exciting. And whatever else you want to mention or plug at this time, and then we'll get into maybe another topic or two.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what our game is going to be, our new game is going to be. So we're opening up for people that have any ideas. Always good to hear. See if we can make them come true, because VR is exceptional for the thrill of getting storylines. So either it could be like you said, your dream. Was it your?
I type
book
up
of your dreams.
I type up a dream journal because they're so insane. Nobody believes that I didn't watch that on TV or something. Like, no, dreamed it.
Or how about a Spaceboy music concert in VR?
I was about to ask her, I'm like, do you need any original scoring for these games? Because we've got, Spaceboy music here. So
hey, I'm sure. Voiceovers we need too. So we got to get a line. We got to get a theme first. We got to get an idea first, rolling to see what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first basis of it. So we're working on that little by little.
So you're wanting an original story for a game for ExitusVR exclusively?
Yes.
Awesome. I think that's
a
cool selling point.
Yeah, and we can always offer those licenses to anyone outside the Houston area, like I said. We have exclusivity, so yeah, definitely we're open to any new ideas.
Well, I know a guy that does music, so if you need some kind of music guy,
That's okay.
Well, we've done our pitch for you, so yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm kind of jazzed now. I kind of want to come by and check the place out and abandon Spaceboy there for a little bit. And
abandon? You need to be participating with me.
Well, you don't really need me. When you were doing it at the Comic Palooza, you were just. I think I actually walked off and left you for a while. Honestly,
I could have played that thing all day. I mean, I was, my addictive personality. When I find something I get into.
He does have an addictive personality. He gets addicted to weird stuff.
Addictive personality.
Like iced tea.
Or OCD, or, it's just whatever you want to call it. Binge watching. But the thing is that I really had a good time.
Do you ever get people in there like that where you have to cut them off? You're like, okay, you've had enough.
You've reached your 2-drink minimum.
Well, one of the things we're very concerned about are children, because VR is something that in a small child, the headset should not be, they shouldn't have the headset for too long. So when kids come in and let's say they want to play an hour and they're 10 years old, we're very conscientious to give them like 30 minutes in the game, take them out, 5 minutes rest, and unless they're parents say no way, but we try to be conscientious about that, because an hour, 2 hours steady on a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, it's not recommended. So we tell the parents, this is what we like to do. The time, stop for a minute, and we give them a rest of 3 or 4 minutes, and they go back at it. And because the last thing you want is a kid with a headache, because they did 2 hours of VR straight up.
Well, that's kind of like the game. We used to play a lot of Wii games, and in between, like they tell you to put the controller wrist thing on so you don't throw it into your TV or stuff like that. But it also says, hey, why don't you take a break and take a moment to go outside and get some fresh air?
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know.
So I'm not done beating him. So.
Yeah, that's the response of everybody. But you know what? It makes a lot of sense. You want to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're an adult or what. You want to take a break for whatever it is. Nothing in excess is good for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because I've heard stories of these gamers, these PC gamers, that go hours of playing these games like StarCraft and.
How do they not get sick? I just don't know.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that they've had situations where one guy had a blood clot form in his leg, and he eventually had because he wasn't moving, and had a heart attack. And you know, it's that is one of the things that, you know, safety wise we need to be concerned about. And you know, it's good to hear that you're recommending, you know, hey, let's go ahead and take the headset. I know you want to play, but let's take the headset off for a little bit. Just get some air, you know, readjust back to the normal.
Now you see why she's got somebody with a medical background there.
Well, that's awesome to hear, and I think that's maybe important to have somebody like that.
Yes. I think it is. And we take that very seriously when it comes to kids. Because we want everybody to enjoy it, you know? We do a lot of birthday parties, corporate team building, and there's a lot of people passing through the machines and passing through the games, and we want them to be feeling great to continue on with their party, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we book like 2 hours, let's say 2 hour birthday party, a 2 hour corporate team building.
Mm-hmm.
One group goes first while the other groups are enjoying the single player stations, and we take that team out, and we don't want that team to be sick or feeling uncomfortable or you know, monitor them. We work with them. If somebody's feeling a little dizzy, close your eyes. There's different things we do to make the experience comfortable and enjoyable. And then when they come out, they continue on with their party, you know?
Right.
The idea is for them to have fun. They came here for that. So we're monitoring people when it comes to that kind of thing, always.
Well, that's very commendable that you're committed to making sure that your guests come in and ensure that their safety is you know, and foremost in your mind, safety first. But at the end, let's all have a good time and enjoy what we are experiencing with VR.
Yes, because I tell you that I have a lot of fun watching people play. I enjoy it so much. It's such a cool thing for people to just have a laugh. At the time where they're supposed to be scary, they get scared when they have to get scared. So it's just fun. Seeing people happy is just the best thing in the world.
I see that you have 3 games for groups, but as far as an individual player, single player, do you have just a set games at certain times, or is it just any game when you come in, you have like a library to choose from for the single player?
Yes, we use a software called Springboard, and they get to change games, so they can change and try any of our games from our library. We have, you know, computers full of games, so they can switch from Space Pirate to Kill Brush to Job Simulator to any of the games are there. They can switch them during that time, so it's a lot of fun. And the good thing is that this software just allows the player to control his hour, however he wants it. Alleviates you as the person monitoring, just to be attentive to the physical needs. You see them perspiring too much, stop them getting a little water, whatever those things are. They move outside the area, just watching them, you know.
Dora, what's your favorite game out of the? You know, I know you want to say all of them, but you know, is there one that stands?
No, honestly, from the group games, I really like Cosmos. I like the idea of becoming an avatar inside of a space station and just flying. The flying part is amazing. And you know, the good thing about Mind Horror and Cosmos, those games There are 2 to 6 players. You don't use any controllers. Your controllers are actually your hands. So with your hands, you fly. With your hands, you get to shoot. With your hands, you move objects. Everything is done with your hands. That gives you the freedom of discovering VR in the best
cool.
way possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us unique. In terms of the single-player stations, I honestly, like you, I love Space Fighter Training, man. It's great. I think it's one of the best things out there.
Right.
And I like to paint, so I love Tilt Brush, honestly.
I could have a lot of fun with that. It's like it's been hours. I noticed, I'm looking at the list of your games for single player, and they've got something called Audio Shield, which reminds me of, I saw somebody playing, is it Saber Beats, where you have like the
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, where they're
Beat Saber. Beat Saber has taken the spot of Audio Shield in terms of what popularity is, but now there's another one that's bringing on the competition, and it's the Hotel Transylvania, the movie.
Really?
They came out with a fantastic game, and people that makes it and Springboard got together, and they send us some special tools you attach to the controllers, so it makes the experience unique. And it's also beats, also music, so it's really, really cool. Really cool game.
I watch people doing the Beat Saber on YouTube, and it looks like a ton of fun, especially if you got a song that you like. And I watched somebody doing that to games like Uptown Funk, and they were just like moving and grooving to get into it, and all the meme songs were pretty funny. They've also got Rick and Morty VR.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Rick and Morty. It's so much fun. Rick and Morty we have a client that comes here once a week, and he plays Rick and Morty. He goes from the beginning almost to the end. He loves that game. He spends the entire hour playing Rick and Morty because it's hilarious.
I've seen somebody do
it's
that
like you're watching it
on YouTube. I'm weird. It's like I don't play the games. I watch other people play games. I don't know why I do that, but they've also got something called Drunken Bar.
Oh my God, yes, that's hilarious. The more you drink, the better you get. That's what the game says. So yeah, we have a lot of adults. We have a lot of bachelor parties here, and oh my God, that game is popular with bachelor parties. The guys come in. They start drinking and virtual reality drinking.
I was going to say.
And they get to start punching, and we throw chairs, and it's just hilarious. Yes, it's popular in the bachelor party. Hilarious.
You can actually create your own arcade with the Pierhead Arcade. That looks like
that one is like you're going to Galveston, to the pier in Galveston, and you put your coins in and you play any game. It is just like being in an arcade.
Wow.
Literally, that you have to put coins in the machine. And you can play bowling. You can smack what do you call that game? It smacks the animal that comes up.
Whack-a-mole.
And then you throw the ball. It's exactly like an arcade.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
I see
that one, and now they came with a new one called Rec Room. Rec Room is like you're in a gym, an FCA gym, and you go from playing racquetball to basketball to you're inside of a gym, inside of a space like that, and you go from one room to another, trying all the different sports, and you play against other teams or other players that are inside the game, and or you can have your friends in the machine next to you playing with you. It's very interactive, very fun game.
I also see that you've got something called Standout VR Battle Royale, and the reason I mention that is I know that is like two of the things that have become outrageously popular for streaming gamers, which is like Fortnite and PUBG, which is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Yes.
So I imagine you get a lot of those.
Yes, we had a couple of people today that came in, and that's the game I want to play. All right. And it's just, they spend the whole hour there because it's fantastic. It's just like you playing Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dora, this is the part where we want to make sure, people know where you're at, where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff. So could you kind of let us know where you're at in the universe?
Yes, we are physically in 5629 Southwest Freeway. We're near the Galleria area. We're open Wednesday to Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We try to make everyone, if it's possible, to do an appointment online or over the phone. We don't want somebody to come in and play and there's already players in there. We don't want you to waste your time. We want you to enjoy it, and the best way to do it is to book online or give us a call at 713-344-0525, or you can visit ExitusVR, ExitusVR.com. We are on social media, and we always post photos of the people that come and play, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, great. We appreciate you stopping by and finally getting an interview with us, and I promise you, we are going to come see you soon because I'm getting that itch to play that game again, and
let's design some shirts together.
Yeah, design some shirts together. Yeah.
And
So
when you come, we'll do a Facebook Live, and we'll put you on the Facebook Live and we'll have some fun with you playing.
Oh, he'll love that. Yeah. He would love that.
I'll ham it up. All right, well, Dora, thanks for stopping by, and don't be a stranger. Keep in touch with us, and
definitely. Thank you so much, guys, for giving me the opportunity.
We love you to death, so we'll keep promoting you left and right whenever we talk about VR.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and we're just two girls trying to make everybody happy here.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, good night, Dora.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
I don't.
Solana's giving me gang signs over there on the other side, and I don't shall I be worried that you're gonna pull down your shirt here and show me this gang tattoo, or so? But anyway, hey folks, it's the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take that break. Hey, it's time to take the break, Solana. Anyway, the moon is made of cheese, and we'll be back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Solana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Solana's Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
Yes, we're back, and don't listen to Shalana in the chat room. She's I'm not making fun of her.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
just joking around. Normal space boy joke stuff. I got jokes. Yes, Taco Bell is on DoorDash. So on that note,
there's more to that, but I'm not going to get into it.
yeah, it's a short program tonight. As far as short, meaning 3 hours. But yeah, it was great to finally get Dora on the program because we had seen her. It seems like we'd see her at the convention and say,
"Well, this time we saw her at Comic Palooza,
Yeah.
and it was like on a Sunday. It was getting near the end of the day, about time to get ready to pack up. And we were at our table, and we were just like zombies. And she came out of nowhere and slapped the table, like, "Holy crap!" I didn't see her coming, and
out of nowhere.
Yeah, we had gone by their booth, the ExitusVR booth, and just dropped off a free T-shirt with her. Or I mean, not with her. She wasn't there. Whoever was in the booth, and so she came back later and thanked us for the shirt, and she told us that she kept it because it was a nice soft shirt and she uses it as pajamas.
Hey, when you got a nice soft shirt to sleep in, it's hard not to, because, I really liked, the shirts turned out fabulous.
These are the ones I hand
A
stamped.
lot of people have said, hey, I would love to get one of these shirts.
Well, that's good because it activated my arthritis to make them.
And I think, if...
I was pounding on that table?
Would it be okay for me to say that you will probably make some more?
I'm willing to make more of the stencils.
Because I was really pleased with the shirts I bought for making those shirts.
But would they be black with white paint or the colorful shirts with the black ink?
Well, I mean, I could buy another batch of shirts, and
because we had a green, a blue, an orange.
Supposedly, I saved money by buying colors like that in bulk.
In bulk.
And, it wasn't too unreasonable to what I paid for those shirts. Because the shirt breakdown per cost was the same as going to, Hobby Lobby. The same shirts, in fact.
Same brand shirts.
Same brand shirts.
And they were soft. And you know what? I didn't even get one.
Well,
I had one set aside and it just disappeared.
It didn't disappear. I believe maybe I might have worn it one day, and
now it's gone into the ether. Well, I would like to get one of the blue or the green with black ink instead of black.
Anyway, they all turned out nicely, and the thing
surprisingly,
people were saying, "Well, how do I get that shirt?" Well, you should have come to Comic Palooza. Yeah,
we were giving it to random strangers who didn't even know us,
and they were answering questions wrong, or they didn't know it, and I was giving them away, But the thing is, marketing Spaceboy Universe was important. Yeah. There's somebody out there wearing that.
I'm talking about blood, sweat, and tears went into that shirt. I designed the stencil in Photoshop. I had to make it stencil ready by adding things and subtracting things. And then you sent it off to a company. They made it into a stencil. I got the stencil back, and I actually pounded the ink, the T-shirt paint, fabric paint, into the shirt.
Bob is making me laugh in the chat. He says, "Dang, I need a bed shirt."
They were soft, though.
They were.
It was like you want to put it up to your cheek and go, oh.
I don't want to say I spared no expense. I actually was trying to look for a very cost-effective shirt that was pleasant.
You're saying I could run to Hobby Lobby when it's open and grab the same brand of shirt just off the rack, and I can make my shirt.
One-off shirts, yeah.
Okay.
But
that was the Gildan brand.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It was a very nice shirt.
Those people didn't deserve it then.
Soft and wonderful, and
that's what we should have done, was given it to the people who were in the other Maker Faire booths, not just random strangers.
Well, there's always
Maker Faire.
Another convention that I guess October is Maker Faire, right? Hopefully, Dave Bernay invites us back. I think he will. We'll see.
If he doesn't, we'll end it all.
Oh, well, let's not get to that point. Let's not cry over spilt milk. But no, I mean, David Bernay he's an awesome guy. And we appreciate him. And he's been very supportive of the SBU and allowing us to broadcast at events of Comic Palooza and Maker Faire. And it ties into what we believe. We believe in Maker Faire. We like to make. And we're creatives. And it is
even
what it
if
is.
we're not doing this, we're still creative.
Oh yeah, I mean we're still.
I can't prove it, but
I mean, like speaking of creative news, I'm still working on soundtrack music. I've got to crank out some more music and spin it on over to Bill Lutz, for Sweepers. So, but he's slowly working on that. He's working on effects right now as we speak. So I need to give him some more music to stick in there and make him happy and go from there. But we're always creating. You were going to say?
No.
Oh, you did this.
I will whenever.
What was this head flip thing you just did?
Why do you have to even look at me? I just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I'm having a conversation with you. It's not very often that I get to look at you because usually you got your head.
I don't like it. That's
buried
why.
in your phone.
I can just do this.
I still see your hair. Oh, she's all Miss Prissy Britches over there because
whatever.
She got her hair cut today, and
after 2 months of not being able to get it cut.
But her comment was, my hair feels lighter, and I feel like it's lost weight. And I said, well, that's because you cut your hair and there's less of it, and that's why it's lighter. Why are you shaking your head over there?
That's not what I said. I said my head feels lighter.
Okay, lighter?
There's less hair on it, and it was just too long. If it's long enough to braid, there's something wrong. So that's what I was telling my hairstylist.
Well, did you happen to see that thing I sent you in regards about bald men?
No. Is this like the one you sent last time
about
how they're more...
Well, it's similar to that. Yes, it is.
What is it?
You would ask me that as I'm like trying to find the article here. Let's see here.
They're more intelligent. They get more women. They
bald
live longer.
men are sexier, more masculine. Scientific study finds.
Which is odd because if it's male pattern baldness, doesn't that mean you have less testosterone?
Well, I guess if you look at the men in this picture, you've got
okay,
Bruce
I'll be
Willis,
honest. I like bald men.
Bruce Willis, and that's why I sent you a copy of this.
I gotta think bald men.
Jason's statement.
Jason's statement.
That's almost like you.
Jason Statham?
While I was making fun of you. Mama. And
nobody knows what you're talking about.
Then,
and just let's keep it that way.
And then I'm Groot.
What has gotten into you?
I don't know, but it's going to be good for the show because, I'm laughing hysterical. I guess I need my churros. I wanted churros and I didn't get my churros. So
I can't believe you're going to go back there.
I am going to go
back. We've already been there once today.
I'm going to get another root beer, diet root beer, and I'm going to get some churros to chow down on because I want my churros. Anyway. Yeah, the Groot thing, that cracked. That was about as funny as when I was doing a jigsaw imitation earlier before the show.
I'm happy you're amused.
Well, thank you very much.
Just let you do your thing over there.
Okay. So, I got the scam letter in the email the other day.
Oh, yeah, he showed me that.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me that.
Yeah, it basically, I had heard about this new kind of scam letter going around where the email goes more or less to the effect that, hey, I've caught you looking at porn, and if you don't donate or put in 600 euros into my Bitcoin account, then I'm going to release it to all your contacts and blah, blah, blah. And it ends with, don't forget about the shame and ignore, and your life can be ruined. Yeah, whatever. So the thing is that,
It's new phishing, huh?
Yeah, it is new phishing. And I guess, if it gets to the right person, you can only imagine, oh my God, I was looking at porn or blah, 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 and I got to pay this guy before. No, this is a new scam thing, so don't flip out when you get it, if you get it. Just know that it is the new scam. It is the new Nigerian prince email of the day.
Maybe I've just been out of it, but doesn't it seem like it's been a long time since we had a good scam like this? Like it's been a long time between email scams?
It seems like it.
It seems like we're getting savvy now,
Well, the thing is that I every time I see an email come in that looks junk worthy, I junk it, and spam it and make sure it blocks and doesn't come up. I mean, even with the SBU servers, I've been getting really aggressive because there's been a lot of junk mail that has come into the SBU mail, and I was like, holy smokes, I need to crack down on this because this is just too much, so... the NES classic game console thing that they came out that has the 30 games, and then it went up to like $2,000.
A little mini recreation of the NES
classic. Well, apparently it is outselling every console that's out there.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
even Xbox, PS4, actual Nintendo Switch.
All of them. Let's see here.
This little tiny recreation that's banking on nostalgia.
Yeah, and it has games like Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, some of the NES classics that are out there. And let's see here. Not only solely, despite only being available for 2 days as it hit stores in June 29th, granted, it only costs as much as a modern video game, $60. Probably help matters in a way because of the affordability. But, once the black marketeers got their grubby little hands on, I imagine all the people at the GameStop people bought all the damn things and put it on eBay. That's why you weren't able to get one. That's what I think. And so, yeah, it's the most popular console out right now, according to Uproxx. So, let's see here.
I got something if you don't have anything.
Well, I was about to, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Well, you and I do purchase things from Amazon, but we also kind of have to go to Walmart because it's just within walking distance. It's right there. Might as well. But they're saying now that Amazon and Walmart has a rivalry, and I'm guessing this must be the online version of Walmart. But their rivalry is reshaping how we will buy all our stuff in the future. So what they mean is this war between them is expanding to cloud computing, grocery delivery, and streaming video. So I forget, is it still there? I don't know. But technically, Walmart does have a streaming service. Is it still there? It's called Vudu, V-U-D-U.
In fact, they got a handful of movies I've purchased through there, and
I forget it exists because I never see. It's not like it's an app on the TV or anything. So
actually, it is an app on.
It is a TV. So Walmart has this ongoing battle with Amazon to get the retail crown. In the last 6 months, Walmart has partnered with other firms, other tech firms, to compete with Amazon, and they're making some progress. So they're rethinking how they view themselves. So what they're doing is they're trying to stay in the game, unlike, Kmart didn't do. I think they shot themselves in their own foot. Walmart's hoping to be nimble enough to compete with what Amazon does. So they're accelerating the shift from a retail giant to more tech focused. They switched their entire cloud operation. I don't know what they're doing on the cloud unless this is the streaming stuff, to Microsoft Azure and Office 365. So I'm guessing Azure is the cloud version.
I have noticed that the Walmart site has changed. It looks more Amazonian.
a Microsoft partnership might help them open a cashier-less brick-and-mortar retail store to compete with Amazon Go. And that's a thing where you already have an account before you walk in there. And you walk in there and you just scan what you want and you walk out because you've already been charged for it to your account.
Mm-hmm.
And that would eliminate the need for cashiers or registers.
Well, they're already doing that now at Walmart.
Pretty much, except for when things go wrong on the tech part. They still have to have somebody stationed there for when things go wrong. Here it is. Let's say Walmart's is going to transform Vudu into a legitimate Amazon Prime Video competitor. So they need to get it out from obscurity because I bet you if I walked up to a random person and say, "Oh, you got on Vudu?" and like, "What are you talking about?" So the company also maintains 2 incubators, one in California and one in Austin. They're going to experiment with these cashier-less stores. Now, Amazon Go, I think, is only up there like in Seattle or something like that. But they're hungry to compete and stay relevant with Amazon. Now, Amazon pioneered that model, but they've been losing money for years because they built a network and used cutthroat tactics to gain dominant market shares across industries such as books, shoes, and video streaming, which they have Prime and Twitch. I forget. Amazon bought Twitch, which is mostly for streaming games. You get online, you play a game, and you stream it live so people can watch and chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when they built their Amazon Prime to lock customers in, there's 100 million subscribers to that. It became very lucrative to them, and it helps bolster their profits. And yes, I'm one of the sheep who followed that. So, Bezos, who is the CEO of Amazon, targeted Walmart and other big box retailers to try to, when they acquired Whole Foods. So they were trying to get a foothold in groceries to compete with Walmart because Walmart has groceries in their store.
Right.
So they're actively going at it like a fist fight with each other.
Well, Amazon bought Whole Foods.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm validating what you're saying.
But Walmart earns more revenue than any other corporation in the U.S. This last fiscal quarter, they earned $500 billion with a B. So that's pretty amazing.
Well, Amazon is on its way to becoming a $1 trillion company, which,
yes.
Incidentally, Apple is the first company now. I think they reached the point of the $1 trillion company.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. Groceries are an $800 billion market, and that's just the brick and mortar, they're saying. So it's a very tiny fraction of that is a 2% online purchases. Now, you and I can do Amazon Prime now, where I reckon you could get a gallon of milk sent to us within 2 hours. Hopefully it's not been on the truck for 2 hours.
Well, there's a handful of things you can get.
Amazon's Prime Pantry program is now shipping non-perishable goods and household supplies. Now, we went into our local Walmart that we go to, and our Walmart's not cutting edge. It's the last to do everything. It's kind of sad, really. But I've noticed in there, they've cleared out a small section near the registers at the front, and they have these orange lockers. Those orange lockers are for you to ship site to store. So you go online, you purchase something, and it goes into one of those lockers if it fits. Because every time I've been on Walmart.com, they will not ship anything I want to this store. I guess it's because it's a crappy store.
Well, what's the old phrase? You can put Shinola on crap, but it's still crap.
They might do it to the silver location, but I don't know. But that's like, why would you offer a service and then we'll ship it to every Walmart but the one closest to you? I'm like, well, what the,
What's the point?
That's the point of that. So I'm guessing we're going to benefit from this rivalry, but I don't know. You and I kind of have to shop at both of them. because there's things that I can't walk into a store and get.
Honestly, I'm getting tired of going to Walmart because it seems like every time I go to Walmart, I get in there and I start feeling sick.
Well, do they not have curbside there yet?
I
think they do.
I don't know.
That'd be one way to get around it.
But Hobo Jack doesn't count as a Walmart associate to deliver your groceries outside. Why are you shaking your head? You know Hobo Jack.
Oh, God.
At least I didn't bring up Daryl.
Yeah, let's not bring that up ever.
All right,
that's our personal stuff.
So finally we got a coronary.
Gonna give me a coronary.
We found out about Art Bell. He died of an accidental drug overdose, and I found it sad to hear that was the case. And
well, when you say that, to clarify, apparently that's easy to do when you're prescribed legitimate medication and you don't read instructions, or I thought I took that pill and you didn't, or you did and you thought you didn't, or you mix it with something else that you didn't know you're not supposed to, even if it was over-the-counter stuff. Apparently that's easy to do, accidental overdose. So there's been people who have actually done that, who don't have any suicidal tendencies, who weren't having any problems. They just miscalculated.
He had 4 prescription medications in his system, oxycodone, and hydrocodone, yes, diazepam, and
that's you don't mix those together.
Yeah, so
space them out.
I don't know. It was just really a surprise because my mom, passed away. I think of a drug overdose through different various medications she was taking for bipolar and pain, and it's very similar to what Art went through. Because it doesn't strike me as he was depressed, because he had a new wife, his child, and loved very much, and it was just kind of sad to hear.
I believe that it was an accident.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I still feel bad. I'm gonna miss Art. Meant so much to me in the 90s, listening to him, through the night. And to say that he didn't inspire me to get on the mic in some way is an understatement, So, I guess it is what it is. Going from that, it's kind of a weird segue, is that the 1986 Transformers movie is coming back to theaters in September.
I saw that. This is the animated one.
The animated one, yes. So that I'm looking forward. I'd love to go see that. I wonder if they're going to remaster it. And
you can't beat the original theme song for Transformers. The
Transformers, yeah, more than meets the eye. But they rammed it up to 11 on the amp when it comes to that movie. Even Weird Al has a song in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, Dare to Be Stupid is in that.
I did not know that. See, I never saw it.
Yeah,
I wasn't into it back in the
That's
days.
all right. You weren't, kid uber nerd then. I mean,
no, I didn't become a nerd till the late 90s.
Looks like ComingSoon.net has pictures of women of the Terminator reboot revealed. It's not a reboot. It's a reboot. It's not. Basically, it takes.
Not.
It is not. Oh, hi, Mark.
There you go again. Jeez.
All right. Yeah. So no, but because it takes
churros bad.
I need churros bad. Send me all your ham. And basically, it takes place after 2. So 3 and 4, whatever, 6, they don't exist. So you have,
This is the alien syndrome where, like, okay, 3 and 4 are bad. Those are a fever dream.
Yes.
We're going to pretend they don't exist. They're not canon. because they're so bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of like in Alien 3, they're releasing the original script that they created into that graphics novel. You brought that up. It's much different than the Alien 3 movie that was released. But this movie takes place, it's like you have Terminator 2, James Cameron's Terminator 2. Well, James Cameron is back to produce these movies. I think it's going to be a trilogy of movies. And it supposedly takes place after 2. So it'll be interesting to see. You've got, Danny Ramos. I'm not familiar with her. I am familiar with Mackenzie Davis. And then Grace is the character she's going to play. And Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor.
Really?
And, yes. Oh, man. She's older, but she looks like she can kick your butt left and right.
So it's not a reboot, is it a continuation?
It's a continuation. It's not a reboot. I don't know why they're saying this on comingsoon.net.
So is it woman-driven or?
Well, in a way, the Terminator was kind of woman-driven, and if you think about it, he goes back to kill but Sarah Connor, the mother of John Connor, but so.
But, I mean, with that technology, can they go back to even kill her mother before she was born? I mean, why stop there?
Like, I don't know why the robots weren't smart enough to go back further than that and to kill Sarah Connor. By now, it seems like the time-space continuum is all screwed up thanks to Skynet anyway, trying to kill Sarah Connor, so... And then on top of that, I was watching a clip from, I guess, it was on YouTube, where he's going to kill he goes to a phone booth and opens up a phone book and looks at the list of Sarah Connors, right? Mm-hmm. And finds a list of 3, I think it was. And he goes, you would think that a machine would have some kind of records of what Sarah Connor looks like.
You wouldn't have to rely on a phone book.
Yeah, why are you relying on a phone book to get your answers, Anyway, I don't know. It kind of just poofed in my head. And then, the Terminator kills this one woman that obviously I don't see how she could. She's the woman that bears a child, She looked like she's in her late 50s or something like that, But anyway, I digress. So, new Terminator movie coming, and it looks pretty tight, and I'm pretty excited to see it. So it is what it is. I guess Sorlana has left the building for a second.
No, I know if you're done or what.
Hello, Sorlana, are you there?
Yeah.
Sorlana, hello? Don't whack that mic. Okay, I'm going to have a meeting with Sorlana, so everybody stand by as we take a break here. So we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sorlana.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sirlana.
Sirlana, what was the deal with Beverly in the chat? Something about letting Dino out or in?
She said she'll be right back. She's got to let Dino in. He's afraid of the dark. Of course, my mind went to our Dino. She's talking about their dog, Dino.
Yeah, Dino.
But that just cracked me up.
The Vina dog. Yeah, so the Dachshund that they have. And he's adorable.
Dachshund.
But it does crack me up every time.
Not the Datsun car.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
We had a Datsun.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was gray and silver. I think it was 4-wheel drive.
Bev popped up another one. I got a boo-boo letting Dino in on my hand and Bob won't kiss it. Well, don't feel bad because, I'm married to Sirlana. I know how she can be too. So anyway, but where are we at? We're at the bottom of the hour, and we've come back.
Tell you, this might help legitimize your purchase, or maybe you don't even care.
All right.
The New York Stock Exchange owner is launching a Bitcoin exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that New York Stock Exchange had an owner. Well, which is the Intercontinental Exchange, the operator behind the New York Stock Exchange.
Yes.
They announced they're going to create a company called BAKKT Bakkt.
Mm-hmm.
They will hold and manage your cryptocurrency, powered by Microsoft Cloud Tech. So it's going to crash a lot, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to begin trading and converting Bitcoin to U.S. dollars and other fiat, which means government-backed currencies, because Bitcoin today is the most liquid digital currency. Now, they're saying Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a brand name. So are they targeting just Bitcoin? Because there are other cryptocurrencies that have other names. Although Bitcoin has become interchangeable, like saying Kleenex when you mean facial tissue.
Right. Well, I mean, as you know, full disclosure, I do a thing called Coinbase, which gives me an option of 4 different coins that you can purchase: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And of course, the most expensive one, because everybody knows it, is Bitcoin. The thing is that I've seen a major drop in Bitcoin. It seems to be dropping, but I'm under good speculation that by the end of this year that cryptocurrency in general is going to make a big jump. And based on the long-term, I guess, graphing that I've seen, sure, it looks like it's at a low, but it's due for a spike. So, it doesn't take much to get involved with cryptocurrency, and just a little bit of money can go a long way. Just $100 investment. I don't want this to turn into like a commercial.
No,
but
the thing is, 1 unit of cryptocurrency is like over $7,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You bought a fraction of that.
Yeah, but still.
Because you can buy a fraction. It's like buying 25 cents of a dollar, I guess.
It's like elastic pants. When you go to the buffet and you fill up, the elastic pants expand. But,
I'm going to stop you and say, no, it's not.
What do you mean it's not? I'm buying a portion of that. What I'm saying is I have bought a small portion of Bitcoin, not a whole coin, because a whole coin right now, as it stands, is $6,978.
Now they're saying $7,500.
$7,500. I'm looking at the current thing on.
Well, it fell a little bit. Well, I wasn't aware that there have been hoaxes about cryptocurrency, fake coin offerings, and kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying this company that they're going to form, Bakkt, would lend legitimacy to cryptocurrency, like it needs their help.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying before, Sirlana, is that you've got these major players out there, Goldman Sachs, even the Rothschilds, putting planning on getting into this big investment game. Spooky. And a lot of people are out there, in these big, things or organizations are saying, don't buy it, because they want the high rollers to get their money into it first. And then they'll say, yes, this is the time to buy. And then what you'll have is the spike. And then
it's just like the stock exchange. It's just like buying stocks at the right time with insider info and that type of thing. But they're saying if we wanted to replace our current currency with cryptocurrency, 1 unit of cryptocurrency would have to be valued at $213,000 for it to replace our money. And it's only gotten as high as $20,000 per unit. So Bitcoin in its current form is too unstable and limited to become a viable means as payment for global transactions or a mainstream asset. So they're saying it's not there yet.
No, there is a slight roller coaster ride right now when it comes to Bitcoin.
Although,
and you have to do your research. I'm not telling you that this
you did
is
do it.
This is the insider tip, but anyway, a small, like I said, making a little small investment, hardly any investment, with the possibility of the way Bitcoin rises and falls.
This should make you happy.
Go
Companies like Starbucks have signed up to start accepting cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So that should feed your addiction nicely.
Well, I don't look at cryptocurrency as like money in general. Like
you're like buying gold bars.
That's how I'm looking at it, as an investment. As far as I'm going to ride the rapids and see where it takes me. But ultimately, who's to say one day that cryptocurrency doesn't replace?
Well, cryptocurrency in general is not a scam. It's a real thing. It's legit, mm-hmm. and you just have to go to do some research, find out who's got legit places to buy it. Then you got to figure out: do you want Bitcoin? Do you want Litecoin? Do you want Ethereum? And there's another one, I can't think of the name of it, but I think you bought a little bit of one, a little bit of another, and then you have your virtual wallet. I
diversified. I bought a little bit of.
You diversified his portfolio, just like stocks.
Exactly. I bought a little bit of this,
and the value of this stuff goes up and down, just like stocks.
And the thing is, as it goes up and down, don't panic. Just ride the rapids. Don't immediately have this gut reaction. Like, for example, Bitcoin is down. And so my minor investment is down, but is it going to get me to quit and call out my money? No, it's there for a purpose. I have a good feeling about the future, and it's a thing that we've talked about Bitcoin in the past. I've always wanted to do the investment into Bitcoin, right, Solana?
Yes.
And finally, I just took that leap and said, this is what I need to do.
So somebody out there woke up one day and says, I'm going to create an alternate currency. And everybody went, okay. And just jumped on board. And then somebody created a brand, and then another brand, and another brand, and another brand. I try to think of like a dollar bill is a brand. Like Coke or Pepsi. It's weird to have branded currency.
Well, I mean, how's that any different? Branded national currency?
I suppose, but it's like, so it started out, I guess, as a way to exchange money or credits to buy things on the dark web, where things are kind of, it's to put a wall between you and your bank account, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like everybody got together and said, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. And all of a sudden now there's a new way to pay for things if people accept it. I think Amazon accepts that payment. Maybe not for everything, but
I think I saw something there too. I'd have to look at it again.
Are you going to be all right?
Yeah,
He's bleeding from his head.
yeah, why don't you just laugh about it?
It's not that big deal.
He's got a knife in his back and he's bleeding all over the place.
He's touching his paper towel.
How funny is that?
You're touching his paper towel on your head.
He's gonna die and I'm gonna laugh myself.
Stop it! I'm gonna pee. Stop it.
That's what you sound like. Am I worried my wife is turning into the Joker or something?
Well, you keep touching this towel on your head.
Apparently, I scratched off something on my forehead.
Boo-boo. You got a boo-boo.
And it's...
He's got a dot of blood that's just coming out of his head, and he keeps putting this towel to it, and there's just this blood. Like,
you're gonna die! I win! That's what you sound like.
You're gonna make me have to leave again.
Oh, God. I think... The house has carbon monoxide and we're getting poisoned.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
What? Hey, you can't leave. The show's not over. Okay. All right, people. See what happens when you try to... Solana's hunched over and she's trying to make her way to the restroom. All right. This is so terrible. So anyway, Solana has left the building, and I'm glad we could at least inject some laughter. This is what happens if you stay with us long enough, then you're basically going to get a good show. And so, Solana, made her laugh so hard that she had to leave. And and I'm trying to keep myself together because I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just, you get to that point where it's been a kind of a crazy year so far, and I guess we really needed this laugh because, oh boy. So anyway, yeah, I guess I've got this paper towel that I'm trying to dab my forehead to stop wherever I've scratched myself, and there we go. So where do we go from here? And I could see that, Solana has left the studio. This is a first where I've it's kind of like blowing up a balloon to see how far it'll go. Well, apparently I have blown the balloon up so far that it has burst, and Solana couldn't take it anymore. So here she's coming back. She's talking. She can't believe. As she makes her way back to the headset.
That was a legitimate emergency.
Well, I guess you shouldn't drink 10 gallons before the show. And
this is all I've had, and I'm not even finished it. It's just a 12-ounce can of something.
I really can't explain why I'm delirious and laughing the way I am, and but apparently
I had to change my pants.
Apparently, everybody in the chat has been just loving and cracking up at this show. Like, we're laughing about just about nothing, and they're cracking up in there.
He's just goofy tonight. Now, is your forehead okay?
Look,
did it quit bleeding?
I mean,
Ew.
Yeah, I know
that's nasty.
It's so nasty. Anyway, so...
it's not like he's bleeding profusely. It's just like he's dabbing it, Yeah,
I'm just trying to get it, to stop. And
if he was bleeding profuse, I'd be rolling on the floor laughing. So.
Yeah, so just like I was saying earlier. Don't get me started again, Solana. But, yeah. So do you feel better?
I can't believe you did that to me. You caused me to have to run away.
This is probably a shining example of why I decided that we need to do this as a broadcast. And it is what it is.
Okay. I went to my restroom, and I did not see the big bag scary flying thing that was in there about 4 hours ago. I go in there to do whatever, and there's this I'm like, oh, bleep, 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 and I can't get things done fast enough to get out of there. So now I'm paranoid about going in my own bathroom, because I don't know if that thing is still there and it's going to get me. So I turned the light off, left the door open, turned the hallway light on, thinking maybe it would be attracted to that light, because I don't know what this thing is. I didn't stick around to find out. I didn't ask it questions. So
Papers, please.
I was going to have you deal with it, but I just wanted to get on with the day. So I don't know where the electric fly swatter is. I was going to take a broom in there, but I figured that would cause a lot of destruction if I tried to do that.
Well, it's interesting you bring up...
I left my jacket in the hallway. Dang it, now I'm cold.
Critters. Because...
Oh, man. I know what you're going to do.
Earlier this week, let's see here. I guess I'll just pull from my comments here from Facebook. I said, I think I'm going to join the Rockettes dancing group. This morning I was loading my laundry, and this big cockroach climbed on my foot. I kicked it off my foot so fast that it passed the Voyager spacecraft. That was not pleasant at all.
You sent me that in a text early in the morning. I was dying laughing because I could easily picture this in my mind. You doing all that.
The comedic value of kicking.
Just like quick knee-jerk reaction.
I mean, I had moves faster than Bruce Lee. That's how fast I kicked that thing off my foot. It was like, initially, I saw it. And
so a few days later, I'm trying to get a sandwich ready to take with me to work. It's like 6 a.m. And I don't bother turning on the kitchen light. I turn on a light adjacent in the dining area. And it almost blended in. This bowl was sitting on the top of the counter, and the bowl was black. And there's this pitch black cockroach on the side of it, and if it hadn't moved, I would have noticed it. And I was fairly calm. I was like, well, just make my sandwich somewhere else. But it put me off the idea of eating, and Lord knows this has happened to me before. It's not like I've never had a roach encounter, but something about that disturbed me on a psychological level where I couldn't get right for the next 4 hours. I just wasn't. And it wasn't like near me. It wasn't going to come at me. It kind of scurried away, and I was like, I just don't feel good about life anymore. I don't know why. I overreacted.
And it's where we live that we get these occasional big cockroaches.
Medium to large, and then the stupid little babies.
Well, the smaller ones are wood roaches, as I call them.
Kind of like a round back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are easily stompable, but these other ones are like, if I kill this, there's like a roach mob boss coming after me. I know it. This is just going to be a horse head in our bed, but yeah. And
then that's something that I kicked so hard that thing.
But it was on your bare skin, right?
Yeah, it was on my bare. Well, it was on my bare skin, and I was
did
like,
you shower after that?
Well,
scrub your foot down.
I was going to get to go take my shower when this happened.
Okay, but I would just feel like I'd never be clean again.
And the thing, I saw the thing initially, and it just moved so quick and got on my foot. I was like, holy crap! It was like the thing out of Aliens, like the face hugger thing.
If they have to exist, can't we just make them slow so they're predictable and we can kill them easier? I guess that would eliminate them if they were slower, that we wouldn't exist anymore. I don't see how that's a bad thing.
Well, I wasn't going to have any of it, and I kicked it. I mean, I don't care where it went. I just know that I kicked it so hard that
I'm sure it had a little heart attack.
Well, more than that,
I can put up with just the stuff that flies with stingers. I can't deal with it. I don't care if it's a bee, a honeybee, a hornet, a wasp. As long as it can sting me, I don't want it to exist. and the roaches. Those are just the two things. I cannot live in the same universe with them. I can't do it. The other insects, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I can't deal with that. No.
I'm reminded when we had bushes in front of our house that remember the little pack of it wasn't wasp, it was yellow jackets. Kid flew out and attacked me, and one hit my lip.
Look at what Bev just wrote.
Let's see now.
I bet he did. Is that a wasp in your pants? Or are you just glad to see us?
All right. That was.
I can't imagine.
Maybe an image that I didn't need to see with Bob and doing some dance.
See, my brother is allergic to bees, but I don't know if I am, so I just assume that I am because he is.
Well, I hope there was no swelling there. Anyway, there's the magic bell.
Yeah, I remember when you got stung on your lip. That was you didn't have allergic reaction. You were fine, but so we just laughed about it.
Numbness, and it is what it is. And
looks like you've stopped bleeding over there. So
well, thank you, appreciate it. That way, you'll pick that up when I go to sleep tonight. Should I keep one eye open?
It's funny when you're wounded.
Oh my goodness! See ya. He's dying, and I'm so happy.
Oh, you've got a little teeny boo-boo. It's not a big deal.
Well, I wish it would go away. I've had, actually...
You don't heal very fast. Is it because you're diabetic?
Yeah, it's because I'm diabetic, and healing takes a little bit longer, but...
Should we get some Neosporin?
Look, it stopped bleeding. I'm okay.
Quit dabbing it. You're making it worse.
And I'm not... It's not making it worse. I'm just hoping my brain doesn't fall out,
It's a teeny little dot of blood. It's not quite in the middle of your forehead either. It's not your horn or anything.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's where you keep poking me in the head with your finger and nagging me, right?
No. I don't bother you. I don't.
That's why, because you sit over there like a raccoon. That mean raccoon.
Oh yeah, is that raccoon that got caught in a bird feeder, like all the way through, stuck?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't a raccoon. That was a squirrel.
No, it was a squirrel. I get them mixed up.
I get squirrels and raccoons mixed up.
I'm sorry. When you started bleeding, I had to leave the room, and I haven't gotten back.
I can't face you dying, but I'll be happy when you are. Anyway,
I'll be laughing at your funeral. What? You're already on churro mode, I can tell you.
I am so right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm phoning it in these last few minutes, but I really want my churros from Jack in the Box. What it is...
We went there earlier.
Yes.
Because I wanted one of their fabulous milkshakes that they have.
And I said, hey, I'll get some churros.
And he forgot.
I got sidetracked with the diet root beer.
And he didn't get them.
I didn't get my churros, but...
Now he says he's going back because it's real close to the house. It's not like it's way away. But they're probably going to be out or they're going to be old.
Don't even say that stuff because that's not right. First you're mean about me bleeding all over the place, and now you're talking about
I wasn't
the place
mean. I just...
About churros being out.
I had no intention of being mean, but you made me laugh about it. You bleeding to death.
Oh, it's not my fault you have
you cramps.
Laughing bladder syndrome.
Oh man, that was just evil. But you ought to be pleased with yourself. You made me run out of the room.
Hey, in the end, I guess what it all counts is the Space Cadets loved that segment because we were laughing. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't stop laughing either.
Something is up with you tonight. I don't know. I haven't seen you this giddy in a while.
Maybe it's.
I think you're tired. I think you're so tired you don't even know. You don't even know your own name.
I am tired, but maybe the nap helped, like right before the show.
I could have slept more.
Maybe
even more.
I need to consider taking more naps before the show.
Well, he said I'm kind of hurting in my shoulder and I want to take a nap. I said, well, I'm going to come in there and supervise you so you don't like pull a muscle. And we both had a nap.
That is, you make me
sure
laugh.
You do it right.
Whatever. I don't need anybody to supervise my naps.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. So, Sirlana, we're getting close to ending the show.
Thank God. I'm running out of clean pants, so we need to end the show.
We don't have a topic for next week.
Well, I'll get one.
Okay.
I've got some
But
here.
Dave Cruz will be joining us the following week.
It's about time.
Yeah, and so I'm anxious to get him on the show and
teasing us.
Talking about just, how things are going with Dave, and it'll be nice to have him on, and of course the cadets that are Beyonders, that's a treat for them. They get the best of both worlds. So yeah, it'll be nice to see. We won't see him, but we'll talk to him. Have him on the show, and that'll be on the.
We could astral project and see him. Maybe.
Yeah, out of body experience. So, but, anyway, hopefully what we'll do for next show is we'll get in some nitrous.
Shut up.
And we'll just laugh our way through the whole show.
God. I'll get some poise pads for that show.
But there will be churros.
Shortly.
And
they're not out.
And even for the next show. Don't.
Well, there's always Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's on DoorDash.
DoorDash.
So, let's see what else. Anything else you need to add, Sirlana?
We'll be back. There'll be a topic. I've got some to choose from. Like I said, hopefully we'll get Dave Cruz the following weekend. That'll be great. And then there'll be some more topics.
Yeah, more topics. Probably some more guests. And, September's just around the corner. You know what that means, Sirlana?
Time to end it all.
No, Sirlana. It means our third year of broadcasting of SBU.
Oh, she's going to give me some more pants if I run out.
Oh, okay. That's
what
very
she's
nice.
saying.
All right. So
they're sending me pants.
Everyone.
Broadcast
I think
pants.
Bob said circus pants.
No, thank you.
Anyway, that concludes this week's episode of SBU, and we're glad that you tuned in, Space Cadets. Keep your ear to the radio and
keep your pants dry.
And keep your pants dry, because you never know when you're going to start laughing. Good night, everybody.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Sirlana. Executive producer is Sirlana. Associate producer is Leanne Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Leanne K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Sirlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.